Hey guys, good morning. Welcome again. I believe we're on week 8 now of these video lessons coming to you. And it looks like maybe one or two more, and we'll be able to start meeting back up at the church here shortly. Things are starting to open back up, so I'm sure that you guys are getting out and doing your normal routine again. But I'll say it again, I hope that you are spending some time with your family members, mom and dad, during these last several weeks and months or so. Really, just what does that mean? What have we been doing? What's happened in our life? As things changed, and if they change good or they change to the bad. Our lesson our lesson today is it matters. A worthy life, it matters. What does that mean? Good or bad? God has a plan for your life, and it matters. How we, and we say it in our class a lot, walk it, just don't talk it. Guys, God wants us to be on a daily mission for Him. We talked about this last week, that every day it should be a mission trip for us, that we're on a mission for Christ. And how do we do that? And how does that matter? More than anything else is how do we carry ourselves? How do we act? Because our actions, good or bad, can lead people either to Christ or away from Christ. So, as Christians, it's our job to live a life that is pleasing to others, pleasing to God first, but more than anything else, besides being pleasing to God, while we're here on this earth, is that people see us and they need to recognize that you're different, that you're not like everybody else, that you're set apart. And you're set apart because you've got Christ in your life, and He's changed you. You're not like the worldly people or do the worldly things, but some just set you apart from those around you. And that's what you need to be concerned with. Because a lot of your friends are looking at you. They're looking at you for guidance. You might be that leader that they're looking up to. And God wants us to lead those people to Him. It's our job to plant those seeds. And I've said this before, guys. If you're doing something that's leading your friends in a direction away from God, you might need to rethink that, because you play a huge influence on your friends. And they also play a large influence on you. So it goes both ways. If you're hanging around with the wrong crowd, guess what? Before long, they're going to start rubbing off on you. You're going to start doing things that you don't need to be doing. On the other hand, if you're a great friend and a great mentor and a Christian friend, there's a lot of guys out there that you run across that are having issues in their lives. Family issues. It could be school issues. Right now, school's out, but it could be school issues. It could be relationship issues. It could be just plain life issues. Because a lot of times life comes at us full throttle, and sometimes we don't know how to handle it. So it's up to you to live a life that's pleasing to God and also to others. A way that you draw people to you. And therefore, by you drawing them to you, you're allowed to plant those seeds, and you're different, and they want what you have. They want that peace. They want that love, and they also want that understanding. And that only comes from God. Nothing in this world can provide that. And so if you're leading a life that's appealing to others, you're contagious, which means they want to be just like you. And that's what God has called you to do, is to be contagious for Him, to plant the seeds that people see you and they want to be, hey, they want some of that. Hey, why is this person always seem to be in a good mood? Always seem, doesn't matter if it's the life throws a curveball at him or whatever, he's always seemed to be, can handle it. He always seems to be on a level playing field. Doesn't get rattled too much. Shows a little bit of emotion every now and then, but doesn't get rattled a lot. Why? Well, because his foundation is built on Christ. And when we've got that solid rock, man, I tell you, man, we don't waver. God keeps us grounded, and that foundation's solid, but it ain't going to crumble. It's not going to crumble. And that's the great thing about having God as our foundation of our life, is that it doesn't matter what the world throws at us, what old Satan throws at you guys, it's not going to rattle you. And people will see that. Your friends will see that. Your family members will see that. And that's a great way to lead. You know, we always say lead by example. Well, what better way to lead your lost friends by leading them to Christ by your actions? And I'll say that again. What a better way to lead your lost friends to Christ but through your actions, because they're looking at you. You don't have to be like the world. We're called to be different, to be set apart. And God's called you. He's got a plan for you. And so remember that. Your life is worth something. It has a meaning. And it matters. Everything you do matters, good or bad. You can be a good influence or a bad influence. In Colossians 1 verse 10 says this: live a life worthy of the Lord. And I'll read it again. Live a life worthy of the Lord. Your life's important. God created you for love and wisdom for a purpose. The Spirit dwells in you. And I guess really the question is, guys, is are you willing to live in a way that exalts Him, that represents Him? That's the question you have to ask yourself, because it matters. Are you willing to sit there and go all in, like we talk about, to give it all? Or are you holding something back? And that's the question. Are you willing to live in a way to exalt Him so that your friends can see you Christ-like and they want to be like you? And that's what matters. And that's what you got to ask yourself. So this Sunday, after you hear this lesson, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to find some quiet place in your house, in your car, wherever, guys. And I want you to ask yourself that. What matters? What matters? And I want you to get along with God. Be quiet, be still, and just ask Him. And think about your life. And are you living a life that's pleasing to God? Now, we're not perfect. Never are, never will be perfect. But you know, God gives us that strength. And He also gives us direction. And He also has a plan for us. And so what you and I have to do is say, am I willing to step up to the plate? Am I willing to take the ball and run with it? Am I willing to say, send me, Lord? Am I willing to say, okay, God, I'm all in. It's not my life. It's your life. So today, tomorrow, one day this week, I'm going to challenge you. Get along with God and just ask yourself that. Are you willing to live a life that exalts Him? And it matters. You got to get along with Him. You got to get quiet and do some soul searching. Because all these distractions around us will muddy the water and it keep you from hearing God. The only way we're going to be able to hear God, and the way you're going to hear God, is to get along with Him, open His Word, and just ask Him, are you willing to sit there and go all in and be an example for God? So your lost friends can look at you and you can lead them to Christ just by your actions. And we say it all the time. We say walk it, just don't talk it. And that's the truth if you think about it. We're walking it. We're setting that example. It matters. We're living a life that's pleasing to God. And also, people see us in times of trouble. And they want to be just like you. And they want something that you've got, and that's Jesus Christ. So today, ask yourself, are you willing to step up to the plate and take the ball and run with it for God? It's between you and Him and nobody else. So I hope you guys have a great day. Hope you have a great week. Looks like a couple weeks we'll be together again in the sanctuary. Good to see you guys. It'll be great to see everybody again. But until then, have a great week. If you guys need me, you know how to get in touch with me. I love you guys, and we'll see you later. Have a great day.